I have with me my my very nice little Christmas scene. Very lovely, very familiar, very pretty. That's a very pretty little scene, and it has. I'm sorry, but you're changing scenes on me. That's the scene we want, the one I have there right now.
You do. Sorry,
There
I'm in
we
a
are.
different window right now.
Well, so there's our scene right there. That very pretty Christmas scene. Must be a very loving family to put out stockings like that for the grandchildren. Very loving. Let's see. They have 7 grandchildren. Let's count the stockings. Let's see now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Where's
Oh,
we only see 5.
you only see 5. Well, gee, and then
Hey, it wouldn't be it.
the stepmother is kicking a few other ones out.
They did it again. I'm down to 5.
You know the work that's done
Other way.
trying to convince people that whole
Other way. Get that 6th one in there.
that whole
There you
step.
go.
They only ignore one grandchild, not 2.
All right, now I want you to look at Navy is not represented here. Navy is the youngest child, youngest grandchild, but she's not recognized by the Biden family. And when the stepmother put out the stocking, she made sure maybe she doesn't want her to get her fair share of the money that they've all been stealing forever and ever and have hidden away in bank accounts all over. Who knows what it is? But this is as mean and vicious a thing as I've ever seen. And I tell you, it tells you all the rest that you have to know about this pathological, sick man in the White House. That is a very cruel man. And all this stuff about, look, we know forever that he's stupid. I mean, I've known he's stupid for 35 years. We know forever that he's a pathological liar. He can't tell the truth. He makes up entirely fictional stories with a purpose to make himself a hero because he's a very he's a very inadequate human being. This is a guy that was the dumbest kid on the block from the time he probably went out and played with the other kids. I think he was left back in grammar school. He certainly cheated his way through law school. I knew one of his law school classmates. First thing he told me was that he cheated his way through law school. Nice guy, but he cheats like hell. Plagiarized when he first ran for president, got caught in a major scandal doing that. Could never get more than about 5% of the vote whenever he ran for president until he lost 2 primaries and Obama selected the puppet. Because Obama knew exactly he was going to take us where he was trained to take us, to communism. And this jackass wouldn't be much resistance to anything. In fact, he jumped aboard 100%. I mean, he wouldn't know the difference between the Marx brothers and Karl Marx. Probably never even understood the Marx brothers' jokes. But this is what he does to his grandchild. What kind of human being does that? I'm telling you, mafia grandfathers were better than this guy.
He makes a bag man out of his own son.
Makes a bag man out of his son who is addicted, who has an addictive personality. You take a weakling son like that and you stick him with some of the worst criminals. You make him a partner of Whitey Bulger's nephew. I bet you didn't even know that, did you? You didn't know that he was a partner of Whitey Bulger's nephew, did you? Because that's how much they cover up. That's how much they cover up. It took forever for you to know, and many of you still don't know it because they don't make enough of a point of this, that Hunter explained to his daughter, Naomi, the one who had the Secret Service with her recently that shot up a car. He wrote to his daughter in 2018, around Christmas time, that basically like she was going to take over some work, I guess. And he said, I hope they don't do to you what they did to me. You know, I've been paying the expenses of the family for 30 years, and I still have to give half my income to Pop. Now, that's an explanation of a co-conspirator of the financial arrangement in the racketeering enterprise. That's what it is. I mean, now he can say I wasn't telling the truth, but you can still offer it as evidence that he was. I mean, very rarely do criminals tell the truth. but you catch him on these things, saying these things, and then you're going to see the money flow. You're going to see the 50,000 in rent for him paying rent to his father, Hunter paying rent to his father for a house that Hunter owns. That's not laundering the half that he owes him. Or the woman that the FBI left in Ukraine that wanted to give away the offshore bank accounts. Oh, gosh almighty, that was 4 years ago. As soon as that hit Barr and Ray's desk, boom, killed. What's wrong with them? I don't know. Something seriously wrong with them because they're criminals. And how this guy Barr gets up there on all these stations and pontificates and is never asked, what about the hard drive? Huh? You had the damn thing for 10 months. You watched your boss get impeached when he didn't have to. The hard drive lays out all the reasons why a good president would ask the president of another country to investigate crime at the highest levels of both their government, which is laid out point by point on the hard drive. It had to be investigated. The president of the United States would arguably be violating the clause that requires him to faithfully execute the laws of the United States if he didn't ask for an investigation of that. And there was plenty of proof of it. They just, elected to lie to you about it. And the press elected to believe them and not the people who have been proven to telling the truth all the time. But now you can't argue with it because you got them in their own words doing it. You got the paperwork, you've got the accounts, you got the explanations, you have the texts, you've got a very reliable FBI informant with a tape that the Bidens got $5,000 each from the biggest crook in Ukraine. You got the money from China flowing right into the bank account. So I'm gonna ask you a question for a second. Just think about it this way. So they like to say that Biden didn't get any money, which is not true. I mean, there's money goes right to Biden. Money was going to Biden. There was proof of money going to Biden 4 years ago in a money laundering transaction involving Latvia that discovered it and let Ukraine know about it. So this stuff that money wasn't going to Biden, there's no proof of it. It's complete garbage. There's more than enough proof so that I would guarantee you I could convict him in a court, except maybe in the District of Columbia or before those judges in the District of Columbia who really aren't judges. The best way to describe this is the proof is so overwhelming that you just can't escape. Any way you want to analyze this man does not belong in the White House. I'm going to ask you for a moment just to assume he is innocent of Biden, Joe, is innocent of everything. There is no doubt, however, that his family got $22 million, probably $31 million from China between 2016 and 2020. Okay. Should he be in the White House? With China, our biggest enemy? With China making billions from fentanyl coming into the United States? With China at the core of the COVID situation, sending their people around the world to infect people? How many Americans did they kill with that? How many did they kill with fentanyl? With China flying, you know the difference between Trump and him? When Trump was president, the largest number of sorties that China flew over Taiwan, to threaten them were 29. You know how many they did this year so far? 1,700. It's only a couple of 100 days. They do it 4 or 5 times a day. It's basically saying, we can do it anytime we want because you don't have a president. You're not going to do anything to us. We own his family. I don't know. The proof that they own his family, I could stick it down your throat. It's there, right in the bank. Millions to the Biden family. And he's making decisions about China. Millions from Ukraine to the Biden family, for sure. Zelensky's got it all. And when Zelensky asked him for another 60 billion, which seems kind of ridiculous after having given the 130 billion, he's going to say no? Isn't Zelensky going to say, how'd you like to see the other pictures of Hunter? How about the pictures of you, Joe? What is that thing with you smelling girls' hair, by the way? I don't even know perverts who do that. I never even heard of, I mean, I looked it up to see what it is. It is a fetish, actually. There is a fetish. I've forgotten the name of it because I really thought there wasn't. And I thought I could really make fun of him, that he invented a fetish. But apparently there is some kind of fetish that men like to sniff women's hair. Now, it is true. You see him doing it with adult women, but you mostly see him do it with little girls. And boy, is that creepy.
Trishophilia.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Trishophilia?
Found it already?
Yeah. Trishophilia.
And does is it little girls or women in general?
Just also known as a hair fetish when someone feels sexually aroused by or attracted to human hair. It's very general.
God,
Very
it's
general.
Jesus Lord, what am I laughing for? He's the president.
Trichophilia.
Trichophilia or trishophilia, whatever it's called. Trick or trish, whatever. It's gross. You're gross.
But we could now put on about 50 pictures of him smelling hair, couldn't we? He definitely has it. I mean, they'll deny it and whatever. But I never saw that before. Did you ever see it before?
Mayor, in my 34 years of life, I've seen foot fetishes
And you work
other fetishes, but hair fetishes I have not seen.
And this man is in law enforcement, I should tell you.
Yes, I've seen.
He's been around a little.
And I was EMS for 7 years as well.
So
I've seen it all.
You've seen
Yes.
me
Yeah,
too.
Yes,
I've seen it all.
You've seen it all as well, Mayor. So you know.
In my 79 years of life, I believed I had seen everything. And then when I first started watching him and I saw this hair smelling, I'm saying to myself, what the hell is that? I mean, this guy isn't even normal. I mean, I remember a picture of a famous politician, and this woman had a low-cut dress on, and he got into trouble because he was like this. And they put it on the front page of the newspaper. But you understand that, right? I mean, boys will be boys. But smelling hair? Okay, that was bad. But then
I just looked up a word.
annoying the little girls. Whoa. And a lot of them have an instinct about them. They're scared of them. Right?
It's like he said yesterday, we played the clip on your show that he wants he wishes he was there to hold that girl that was hostage by Hamas. First of all,
what the kid needs.
Exactly.
Just what she needs after Hamas.
You think you're the first person she wants to be held by?
You're going to have a guy with trichophilia.
What he really meant was he wants to smell her hair.
Why are we shouldn't be laughing.
It's not good.
This is very sad.
It's sick.
It's disgusting. It's terrible.
But is that like his dementia, Mayor? Like, or is that just like?
Well, that's interesting. We got to go back.
Is there something mentally
Ted,
ill?
We got a research project. We got to go see if he was smelling hair before he had dementia.
Right.
Wow.
So, wait a second. Wait a second.
We know that
some of those pictures are old. That
Yeah.
they show.
this has been at least since he was vice president.
Yeah.
And the question is, when did he?
He was kind of losing his shit when he was vice president too. So
Yeah, but
not as bad, not as bad, but he was, like
he was always. Well, as the
remember-
mayor says, he's always been kind of dopey, right? Like,
But when
there's a
he was-
difference between that
when he
and-
was running for president, he definitely had dementia. When he started with that, he likes it when the kids touch the hair on his legs, right? When he thought that his sister was his wife and his wife was his sister. When he couldn't finish, I don't remember if it was the preamble of the Constitution or the Pledge of Allegiance, but I pledge allegiance to that thing. There are a whole bunch of those. Oh, it was during the campaign that he thought he definitely saw Roosevelt. He had seen Roosevelt on television reading the comic books, which is really interesting because Roosevelt died before there was television, and it was LaGuardia who read the comic books, except it was on radio. I'm just telling you the truth. I mean, I know it's hard. They want to put me in prison for it, but I'm just telling you the truth. They want me to cooperate. I'm more than happy to cooperate. Just don't like what I cooperate about. So far, every time there's been a chance to go find the evidence, this is about 5 times now, I've turned out to be telling the truth, and they turn out to be massive, gigantic liars and traitors. That's what I was thinking about before on the other show. I was thinking about Swalwell and Shifty Schiff, those 2 guys.
Fang Fang?
No, they were saying about what's his name being thrown out of Congress, Santos.
Oh, Santos, yeah.
Yeah, well, you throw Santos out when you throw Shifty Schiff out.
Right.
Shifty Schiff is a lot more than
And
Santos.
wasn't
things that are a lot more
sleeping
important.
with a Chinese spy? Wasn't that him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Swalwell.
Eric Swalwell.
Yeah, he was sleeping with Fang Fang, the Chinese spy.
And what
They-
about Dianne Feinstein? Had a Chinese spy for 20 years, and she leaves like she's the princess. She didn't even know where she was. I mean, they could have taken her. I mean, the last year, she didn't even know she was in the Senate.
No, they took her hand and like,
Yeah.
hey, vote here.
Vote.
And now Shifty Schiff is running.
Okay, time to vote. What is Trump for? Okay, we're against. But I used to be in favor of a wall. I used to be. Why am I voting against a wall? I was in favor of it. Because Trump is in favor. It'll be a Trump. It won't be a wall. It'll be a Trump wall. We don't want any Trump walls. No walls now. We're against walls.
Only Biden walls. Only when Biden says we build a
When
wall.
Biden
That's the
says-
kind of wall we want.
When Biden says we need a wall, then we need a wall.
That's right.
He's building a little wall now.
That's right.
Did you know that? He's building
Of course. Because it's Biden. That's why it's acceptable.
because it's Biden and
Right.
he's demented.
To say the least.
Okay, let's get serious. There's a lot of serious.
Mayor, I have some people have been asking too throughout the night in the comments if we could talk about 2024 and whether or not this momentum that the media seems to be covering or portraying this Nikki Haley situation. Right, the media is playing
Nikki
it up as
Pal-
though she's as if
Nikki
she's
Palestine.
yeah, that one. Apparently, she's really surging in the race for her runner-up.
What does that mean? I haven't seen the poll.
Well, really, what it means. Well, I want to know from you what it means as the.
No, I don't know. I haven't
expert.
seen any evidence of it.
Yeah, I think what it means is Ron DeSantis is gone. Right.
Well,
I think number
mean,
one, what it means is this Ron
she
DeSantis guy's no
she
longer
had a something in South Carolina,
an event in
Yeah.
her home state.
and I saw her going in and coming out.
2,700 people.
And they're saying it was like trying to make it like it was like Trump.
Yeah.
So if Trump had a 2,700 event in South Carolina, he'd drop out of the race.
They, Didn't he take over
he'd be
it?
so disappointed he'd drop out of the race. He'd say, "My God, they must have forgotten who I am."
remember when he did that
He gets-
that rally at that town?
No.
He gets 2,700 for a small breakfast.
I was saying, Mayor, when
That's a night at Mar-a-Lago.
Mayor, when we went to Bedminster that day and he had Bikers for Trump, he had 2,700 people
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
and that was one event in one day that
What's
nobody
amazing
remembers.
is when Biden was
Like what?
when
Yeah.
you'd see Biden laying on the beach, nobody talking to him,
Nobody.
nobody knowing. You figure if poor Trump were on the beach, you wouldn't even be able to find him.
Yeah.
There'd be 100,000 people around him.
Yeah. And 10,000 American flags. Too,
Yeah,
by the
look,
way.
American flags,
You
people
wouldn't be able to
yelling.
see, and
Bodyguards, everything.
it's like a festive atmosphere, like an
Yeah.
American.
She had
festive
2,700, and they think she was the governor of the damn state. I could get
We're
2,700
gonna have
people,
2,700 on Friday.
and I'm an accused criminal.
Allegedly.
Alleged.
Accused. I'm
Yeah,
accused. An
accused.
accused criminal. I'm an alleged criminal by Fannie. Fannie says that I did something wrong in practicing law. I was representing my client. I think really I was representing him too effectively. I stepped on the wrong toes.
That might literally be at the top of the list of craziest things that could have happened. Or the most far-fetched.
What's that?
This.
Yeah.
Going after.
Oh, America's mayor. Of
Well, a
course.
lot of it was really far. But well, think about Russian collusion.
I was only going to say the most
But
craziest thing.
what about the hard drive?
Biden called
the hard drive. That's
Biden
what-
called the
Biden called me
mayor
a
a
Russian-
Russian pawn.
You call me a
on
Russian
the
pawn.
debate stage.
In
What were
public.
you thinking?
And
You're
that was
sitting there somewhere.
I mean, Fannie is a broken down, stupid dummy of a prosecutor who can't even do an indictment correct.
She's a washer.
The stupid indictment comes out the morning before, the morning it's supposed to be voted without getting voted on. So, I mean, this is like a jackass prosecutor.
Well,
Biden accused me of being a Russian pawn right on the stage in front of
100 million Americans.
Yeah. And it turned out to be a lie. You'd think they'd give me the benefit of the doubt.
And a lie, and he knew it was a lie.
Yeah.
Using the law for decades to make things better.
Yeah, and it turns out that he's lying. I'm telling the truth. Why would we change sides all of a sudden?
Yeah.
He starts to be the truth teller. I start to be the liar.
In Biden's defense, you really think he came up with that on his own, that calling you Russian pawn? Someone fed him that information.
Of course they fed it to
Yeah,
him.
yeah, he's not that smart.
The whole thing was a setup.
Exactly.
Of course.
The whole thing
They're
was a
all in
setup,
on it.
including the letter from the 51 swine.
Right.
And you read that letter,
The
how
letter,
they
the letter,
leave themselves a little exit, right? They try to leave
Yeah.
themselves, even though they know the effect the letter is going to have.
was that earmarks
Russian-
earmarks of Russian collusion.
Right.
But they didn't mention an earmark.
They didn't mention specifically what. They just said it has
Yeah,
all the
which
hallmarks.
to me is
the earmarks.
which
Where
is
is it?
Yeah.
None.
which
Yeah.
to me is that's the giveaway. When there's nothing
Big-
in there,
yep.
when there's nothing in there
Yep.
like that.
But they knew the effect it would have. And that's all they needed, right?
Right.
They didn't need to say it. Just and then ABC, George Stephanopoulos, they just go off and
Oh,
run
yeah.
them.
And then I'm the Russian pawn for the next 17 months.
Yep.
And I'm suing Biden now in New Hampshire.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
one of these nights, maybe next week, sometime before we should do an episode on that and really lay out,
We will.
and maybe we'll bring on some of our friends who are helping with that.
Yeah, that would be good.
But getting to this election analysis, Mayor.
I don't think
Any-
she's having a big impact. I think she's going to have I think she'll have an impact in the sense that she'll displace him and be a secure number 2, but way behind. And I think by the time you get to South Carolina, I think he's going to beat her bigger in South Carolina than in Iowa or New Hampshire. I think the margin of victory would be maybe 5-10 points more in South Carolina, particularly with Scott out, because I think the Scott vote will go to him. I don't think it'll go to her. I mean, Scott never really attacked him, or I think he'll get the lion's share of the Scott vote, or they'll stay home. They were not voting for her she's not an unknown quantity in South Carolina. If she's going to be surprising, the only place she could be surprising is New Hampshire. I would say that's the one place where she could be.
I just read it. She's only at 19% in New Hampshire right now.
Yeah, but she had only been at like 7.
That's
Well, that's true.
considered,
So
yeah,
that's
true.
a bit that and
19%.
And 14% in Iowa.
Where's DeSantis, right? Where's the outside of Trump
well, unless DeSantis
in New Hampshire?
I'll check.
I mean, really, from Trump's point of view, he's sitting in a very, very good position. What would help him is if DeSantis had a little bit of a comeback.
I got some numbers for you, Mayor. So Trump,
Yeah, good.
45.7% in New Hampshire. Haley 18.7, Christie 11.3, DeSantis 7.7,
I cannot
and
believe-
Vivek is 7.
That's unbelievable.
That's literally as of this week.
Why don't they like that guy?
I like that guy a
He
lot.
says
Who?
everything right.
Vivek.
Because he copies his speeches off Obama. That's why.
What? That's
does,
a
he
what
does.
kind of charge is that?
Yeah, I'm
He does
surprised
not.
if Vivek
No, he
isn't
does,
doing
he does.
better than that. I'm
There's a
surprised
whole
that
video of it.
I mean 11% is not much, but I'm surprised that Christie is ahead of.
Christie?
It's got to be devastating for DeSantis to be behind Christie. Doesn't it have to be devastating for DeSantis to be behind Christie?
I mean, my goodness. I think DeSantis is the
Behind
one
him
that's having the
literally,
worst day,
too,
right?
he's
What?
fat.
Pardon me?
No, nothing.
No, repeat what you said.
I said being behind Christie literally is also a big thing because he's fat. You can't see around.
You can't see around.
We don't
I
call
will
him
not-
a big fat slob. We do
I
not
will
do
not.
that.
I'm sorry.
fat
I'm sorry,
shame.
Mayor.
We do
I
not
will-
call him
sorry.
a big
I
fat
will
slob.
I am sorry, Chris Christie. You are not a big fat slob.
And you're
Sorry.
not, and we're not going to say that you're vindictive, nasty, and you want, and now Romney is going to vote for a Democrat, which give you an idea what kind of Republican he is.
He was always
The
a sicky
Democrats are now virtually the Communist Party of America, and Romney is going to vote for them.
Traitor.
Now,
And
what
what
the
he
hell
say-
was he doing in our party in the first place?
What did he say about Biden? He called him engaging. He called him
He's
something and engaging.
engaging?
Yeah, that's when I knew this guy doesn't get it.
Maybe he belongs in a nursing home.
Right.
They can go sit and talk to you. Engaging. You think you can have a conversation with this guy?
These are our United States
Well,
senators.
you see when he's with the world leaders, they're all talking to each other, and he's
So, Mayor,
He's like,
an interesting poll in Iowa has DeSantis behind Trump and Haley behind DeSantis. This is Iowa.
no, that's not interesting. That's about what we
you
would
think
expect.
so? You think so?
That's about what we would expect.
DeSantis up in Iowa.
Yeah, he's putting all this. Yeah, he's
tell me
putting all the-
Iowa.
Yeah.
Trump,
Tell the numbers.
Trump 44.7, DeSantis 17.5, Haley 15.3, and Vivek 4.7.
Well, the interesting thing, and this would make a little bit of a case for her. She's doing a lot better in Iowa than he's doing in New Hampshire.
Bingo. Yeah. Yeah. But the fact that he's doing okay in Iowa doesn't surprise me because Mike, he's put all this.
He's put everything
everything
into
in it, right? Yeah.
Iowa. He's
Yeah.
going to do it
It's his
again.
last stand, right?
He's got. Remember, he's
Which
got.
that's bad
He's
news
got
for
the
him.
governor's endorsement in
Yeah.
Iowa. He's got that minister that he paid $95,000 to.
the $90,000.
You got the
minister.
$95,000
I love
minister
you
whose name I
giving
can't
that
remember.
nickname.
But
Yeah,
I
that's the
really,
point.
it's really bad because he's a very famous minister. I just can't. He's so famous I can't remember his name. Oh, I do remember the last 3 Republicans he endorsed all lost. They won Iowa though, but then they lost.
Go figure.
It's really good. You get
Yeah.
you get like a trophy if you win Iowa.
What are you gonna? I don't want to make any
get a
jokes.
trophy.
Corn up. I was.
But then somebody else becomes the
make fun of
president.
Iowa.
The polls,
I love Iowa.
the polls still have DeSantis beating Haley by 2% for president. I'm not talking. I'm saying if Trump is totally eliminated. Nationally, DeSantis still beats Nikki Haley by 2%.
If Trump's
If
not
Trump
running,
is gone, right? If Trump is not in the picture, obviously he's at 60%. He's the winner, but DeSantis,
there's no way.
DeSantis has 2% over Haley
For now.
nationally. For now,
If for some reason Trump chose not to, which I if for some reason in a different, let's say 2028, in 2028, DeSantis will not be the front runner. He'll fall.
That poll was right.
the national one. You believe?
DeSantis would be if it weren't Trump, the Trump people would more likely go to DeSantis than to
Then
Haley.
Haley,
Sure.
right, absolutely.
Because he seems like more of a leader, and she is becoming more of a rhino.
But what? Okay, let me
She
throw this.
she is showing her rhino
colors.
instincts, whereas he has been pretty far right, and the issues with him are more personal than they are.
That's right.
He has a reluctance, a healthy reluctance about Ukraine.
We got a lot going on in chat about this conversation.
Right. I mean, he'll take a very different view of Ukraine. Not that he won't support them, but he's not just going to throw money at them. Whereas Biden, of course, has no choice but to give them anything they want. I mean, they own Biden. Remember, Zelensky knows all of the crooked things Biden did. He has a record of all the crooked things that Biden did. He's got the witnesses that can prove it. And more than anything else, he can very easily find out the numbers of the foreign bank accounts. So Zelensky's got him like exactly where he wants him. And ain't no way Biden's going to say no. He spent the last 3 of his 4 days as vice president in Ukraine, the second crookedest country in the world. Biden did. So they own him. He's in bed with them. The oligarchs are making a fortune off this war. And some of the money is going to the front. There's no doubt about it. And the Ukrainian people don't deserve this. They don't deserve it. And they don't deserve our lying, our lying about their leader, Zelensky, being some kind of a saint. The guy is not a saint. He is a creature of the biggest money launderer in Ukraine. People of Ukraine should know that. I mean, he's going to cancel the election. He's trying to do away with one of the Christian religions. You may have a real problem here. And once again, the phony media will just overlook it. And this comes from somebody that probably hates Putin more than anybody you can find. I can't stand the Russian communists or any vestige of Russian communism. And I can't stand an animal like that, a bullying animal like that.
Well, I may have been back to the 2024 election. Most polls are saying Christie and Vivek are just done and they should just pack it in and just let it go.
Well, Christie won't do it because it's vindictive.
Right.
But I don't know who he thinks he's hurting. with his vicious attacks on Trump, he can't be taking any votes from Trump. I mean, if you're going to take votes from Trump, you're going to ease them away. But here's the way somebody comes from way behind and catches up. First thing you'll see if she's going to make a big move, you're going to see a much higher jump in the undecided voter. So let's look at the undecided for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, Ted?
Okay.
The undecided stays the same.
It ain't going nowhere.
Because people usually don't just jump. They don't go from Trump to Haley or from Trump to DeSantis. They go from Trump to undecided. And then they switch over because they're starting to have thoughts like she's attacking Trump, right? She's attacking Trump, but on tone, his tone, she's going to have a much better tone than he does. So if somebody if you're a tone person, if you vote on tone, vote for me for president. I have the best tone. I never thought maybe I'd be president if I had done that.
Yeah.
I have the best tone.
I mean, is this
His tone is just wrong.
Maybe in the air, maybe in the FDR
that his
All of
tone,
his policies are right.
his tone had a totally peaceful world.
Hey,
His tone scared the living daylights out of Putin and Z. He had Mr. Kung Fu, the fat boy. He had the fat boy eating out of his hands. Ooh, come and visit me if you're in the neighborhood. He actually said that to him. Come and visit me if you're in the neighborhood.
And he
He
did.
didn't have any friends.
And he did. And the president.
Trump was like his long lost father.
He was.
Well,
He was probably excited.
Let's go over the parallel.
The original friend of Kim Jong Un
Basketball
is
player.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
That's
Dennis-
the OG friend right there. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
mean, he goes and visits
questions
him.
about
He
that.
goes and visits him because this is absolutely true. He goes and visits him because doesn't even tell his staff he's in Japan. He's going to stop off and see Kim Jong-un. He said, what? It's not on the schedule. Yeah, I thought I'd call him and we'd go over and talk to him.
And he called him and he talked to him?
He told me when I saw him, when he was there, anytime I was around, in the neighborhood. I don't think he said in the neighborhood, but he said, anytime I'm in the area, I should stop by.
Is that amazing?
Well, I'm in Japan. I'm in the area. I'll stop by. Hey, Owen, you want to see me? Oh, yeah, sure. He comes over there.
I love that meeting.
Unlike a jackass like Biden, who would probably get upset that the other guy was late or something, he walks into North Korea. He walks into North Korea. You're not supposed to do that.
He just does it. It's great.
He gets shot if you do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Every once in a while,
he just walks in like, hey.
Remember that video? Let's see if I'm gonna bring up the video. You're bringing this up. I can't.
Kim
I love
Jong-un-
this video. Yeah.
Kim Jong-un
My
looks at him and says, hey, if it's
Hey.
you, it's okay as long as it's you.
As long as that Biden creep. I remember this. This was a huge event. I loved it. I thought it was great.
But I think one of the really
Right there.
Yeah,
very, very telling statistics was I think it was the Wall Street Journal the other day, when they measured the number of times that China threatened Taiwan when Trump was president, and the number of times they've been doing it with Biden. It's like 1,000 times more. It's like so obvious that they have no fear of that guy. They fear this guy. They fear that guy you see on TV right now.
This is
I was there. Oh man, that's like one of the houses I was in, and I walked across the border. But I did it in a sneaky way. I did it from inside the house.
You were there with him?
No. I was there many years earlier, about 10 years earlier.
Kim Jong-un, right?
Yeah. See, the border is in the middle of those two cottages. He's at the border right now. See? Okay, now watch this. Watch. Two pals.
I've never expected to meet you at this place.
You gotta bullshit people, I mean, that's what salesmanship is about. It doesn't mean he likes them. It means he pretends to. This is a lot better than him throwing missiles over Japan, isn't it? Look at this. Look. Yeah, come on, let's go. Let's take a walk in your country.
This is real.
There hasn't been an American president there, maybe ever.
People are literally running.
Certainly since the war.
Yep.
That parallel was put there in 1950. So now he's shaking hands. He's made a trip to North Korea. Now he's going to walk him back. See, you can come. Now you can come on our side of the border. Looks to me like Kim and even lost weight for this meeting.
He's so he got. Oh, he put on his best.
Yeah,
he made sure
yeah.
He made sure those collars were crisp. He's meeting with the boss. You can tell he's so proud.
I'm going to tell you another reason why this is completely freaking ingenious. This guy has always had to deal.
That's how I looked when I met
this guy. This guy and his father always had to deal through the Russian premier or the head of China. Now he's got his own relationship with the president of the United States. That makes him a big shot.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, but he understands that.
Trump knew that. Yeah,
of course. I mean, Trump is a genius at human relations and how to manipulate. How the hell did he he convinced Bush that he was low energy. Which he wasn't. Yeah. And somehow he absolutely convinced DeSantis that he can't campaign.
this is one of my favorite videos.
Yeah, well, this.
No, the president. I knew that when I was voting for the guy.
Biden now would be finished. Biden's brain would have stopped at this point.
Stop. Help him walk down and tell him where to go.
I don't have a shot. Mr. President, U.S. pool right
They're
here.
probably like, what are they doing now?
U.S. pool right here.
Secret Service that. He's totally copying the president, right? Kim Jong-un.
Yes, he did exactly the same thing.
He was totally. What would Trump do? I gotta make sure I look good to Trump.
Look at the expression on Trump's face. I got this guy. I got this guy.
이 행동자 제만 보시지 말고 이 트럼프 대통령께서 분리선을 넘어서 가시면
That's Trump. He wants to make sure.
He probably would teach him golf.
과거를 청산하고
Yeah, well, the Koreans play a lot of golf. Yeah. Yeah, North Korea. I don't think they have the money to. I don't think they can afford a golf ball. Yeah, that's really unbelievable. Look at the smile on his face. I don't think that guy smiled since he was born. Remember, this began with them calling themselves terrible names, and then Trump
That was awesome.
got him right around his finger.
Rocket Man. Look at that. He met with the guy. He's Trump's calling him names, this and that and the other thing. The guy was all smiles. Trump
Also,
was a Rocket Man.
when he says that Putin, is smart, or that Z is smart, that's he's not giving up ice and winter. I mean, he's not giving up anything. Right. Of course, you should stroke him. The question is, you call him smart, you have dinner with him, and you get up and bomb Syria. Sit down and react like you didn't do anything, and let the guy find out you just bombed the hell out of Syria. And you don't think that didn't stick on Z's head? Opposite. When Putin started pushing Biden about going into Ukraine, and all Biden could say was no troops on the ground, no troops on the ground, no boots 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 on the ground. I got the point, pal. You're afraid of war. I got the point. I get a free shot here. Yeah, you'll give him stuff. You'll give him money. Half of it'll get there if you're lucky, because the country's as crooked as mine. Yeah, I mean, you gave up the air base so that China can be a little more secure. America can be less secure, because you really are the Chinese president, not the American president. I mean, it's just so totally different. And this idea of America first, gosh almighty, we don't even count. When you look at our hostages, and he doesn't seem to give a damn. Every day they're in captivity is torture. I mean, these people are not able yet to tell you what they went through, because there are other people in captivity, and it might get them killed if they disclosed really what happened to them. But just looking at them, you can tell that they were treated horribly. the little girl who can't talk anymore, the little girl who just whispers. I mean, so the idea that we're going to get the Americans last, hope to God we get them. But every day you keep them in captivity. They don't have to be. Who knows? They could be irreparably psychologically damaged by that. The objective should be to use the power and might of your office to scare the living daylights out of them so you get them back right away. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't be president. What the hell are you pretending to protect me for when you can't? I mean, he doesn't have the gumption to do it. I mean, if he said it, people would laugh at him. I mean, if he sat down and said, you know, you give me those, I'm going to give you 48 hours. I want those people delivered to Israel immediately. And 48 hours from now, I won't have to call you because you're not going to be around. It'll be like one of those sounds, like I'll call, it'll go, buzz. Gee, there used to be a building here with an Ayatollah in it. Because I've lost patience with you, Mr. Ayatollah. You're going to deliver those. You're going to deliver those 9 people. You're going to tell those pawns of yours to deliver those 9 people, or there isn't going to be an Islamic Republic of Iran anymore. Want to test me? Go ahead, test me. Why we don't go directly at Iran is another thing that's crazy. I mean, they've got to be challenged. They've got to be reduced in power. They're the key fulcrum around which all of this, you know, China and Russia help them, and they stir up trouble. I'm sure they authorized and pushed what happened in Israel. In part, I think, in part it was to prevent a relationship with Saudi Arabia. But this attack has been planned for 2 years, and that wasn't on the table 2 years ago. So there's a longer-term purpose to this, and the longer-term purpose to it is their eventual overthrow of Israel. That's their long-term goal is not Saudi Arabia, it's to get rid of the Jews, get rid of Israel. And then they will be they'll be the heroes in the Islamic world, and completely soar above Saudi Arabia, which is their major nemesis. And Saudi Arabia, although it's got a lot of money, doesn't really have much of a military. Without Israel, there's no military there that can challenge them. Maybe not even Syria is too beaten up and wouldn't.
And as our military shrinks, we can't afford to get involved in a war there. And then next
No. Our military is more interested in pronouns than fighting wars, I think. At least the generals are. I think our men and women still can fight wars, but our generals are working on getting their little stars. So they got to be careful about getting the pronouns right. You better not call somebody the wrong pronoun. Well, any more questions, gentlemen?
A lot of questions, of course.
Everybody getting ready for Christmas?
Getting ready for Christmas. They will obviously will want to see some
Under
good,
your tree?
Mayor, what's a good gift idea for Christmas 2023? Maybe
There
you have
you
some
go,
idea.
right there.
Wow. You know what? And look at the
Balance in
colors.
nature. Get you some balance in nature for the
Christmas
people you love.
colors.
And you want to Christmas colors, and they'll help your loved ones be
Sure.
really, really healthy,
Yeah.
because it has in it all the stuff you try to get with all the different vitamin supplements that you take, because it has the fruits condensed. So I would get that right now. and
Wow.
then
Great Christmas gift.
I'd get everything that we advertise.
You could have
QUX box.
America's Mayor live, America's
Get
Mayor
a QUX
Christmas.
TV box. You'll be able to get us on TV
My pillow,
all the time.
my slippers, my
all
pillow.
the time you can get us on TV, and you're able to get OAN as well as Newsmax, so you can forget about Fox.
Right.
And you'll get everything else half the price, much more secure. They can't do all that crap to you that they do with these left-wing spies. And of course, you should go to My Pillows. Gosh, they got everything. I'd get some slippers for everybody for Christmas morning.
Don't forget to
Couple
use that
pair.
promo code Rudy.
That's it.
Rudy on everything. Doesn't
it.
matter where you go.
All right.
We love you, and we're going to be
you
back
tomorrow.
tomorrow at 3 on WABCRadio.com. We'll be back here at 8 o'clock for America's Mayor Live. And we'll see what happens until then. But keep praying. Pray for the people of Israel. Pray for the people of the United States. And God bless America.